We're here with Marilyn Rue and her agent, Tonya Jamison. And we had Marilyn on the show back in February to talk about her Olympic pursuit and her Olympic dreams. And so we have Marilyn back on the show to talk about where she is now and give us some updates. So thank you for coming back on the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Since we last spoke, you've been doing some races. You were in the Nationals and brought home some medals there and improved on your own world record. So tell us a little bit about what you've been doing lately and where you are in the process of reaching your dream.
Well, it's been a fantastic season so far. I was in February in Kamloops, Canada, and at the World Championship, and we won with the USA team the 4x200 meter against Australia and Germany.
Wow.
And we beat our record. Oh, I'm sorry, that was not there. We got first place, and I got fourth place in my 400 meter open. And 2 weeks later, I went to national in Boston, and we, with the team Athena Tri Club, we broke our own world record in the 4x400 meter.
And how much did you break your record by?
By 5 seconds, so that was amazing.
That's
That's a lot, right?
It's a lot, yes. So that was very exciting, and at national, in the open race in the 400, I got third place, which was really good. And then last weekend, I just come back from Penn Relays in Pennsylvania, and again we ran with my team Athena, and we broke the American record in the 4x100 meter, and
Wow.
That was a fantastic weekend.
That's amazing.
Thank you very much.
So what's the next step now? Where are you going next? Because you seem to...
Well, I recently talked with my coach in Ivory Coast, and his name is Kwame Jano, and he invited me to run in Kenya this August in the African Championship. So I'm very excited about it, very nervous, because I will be running with professional athletes that are half my age. So
Now tell us how you got involved in this in the first place. Give us a little bit of information about your background for the viewers who might not be really familiar, because it's pretty inspirational. I think a lot of people are probably wondering how you got involved.
well, I was born in Ivory Coast, and I spent the first year of my life in Ivory Coast and got pretty sick. So my dad, who was French and Caucasian, took me back to France to get to heal. And my mother from Africa, from a poor village, stayed behind, and I stayed in France, going from different family members. And then finally, when my father passed away when I was 7 years old, my godmother and uncle and their 2 sons adopted me. And
And that was, we were still in France.
yes, I was in France, and then when I was 18, I decided to look for my heritage and find my mother that I've never met and that nobody really talked about.
Right.
So I went to the embassy of Ivory Coast and I wrote a letter, and after many months I found her, and we started to write back and forth letters, and I mean, somebody was writing for her. She cannot read or write. And I wanted to go there so bad to meet her, but never really could, because there was the birth of my children, or there was always something in the way. And we finally ended up talking on a phone call that we set up with translation from cousins over there. And that's the first time that I heard my mother's voice. And
how old were you at that point?
how old I was?
Yeah.
It was, I believe I was 37 years old.
Wow.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
and then one day I received a phone call from my cousin, and to announce that my mother passed away, and that's when I decided to go to Africa and meet my siblings, and see the village and connect with my roots.
Wow.
And
Now, did you start running when you were in France, or when did you start taking running as a hobby?
I ran when I was young, but not you know, not, it was just to help my best friends in relays, but I never really did track and field in college or anything like that.
So when did it switch over to be a competitive sport for you?
I started at 37 to do triathlon, and then at 40, from a bet with my best friend Dad, decided to start track and field and go to the World Championship in Italy when he was 75 and I was 40 years old.
It's amazing.
And what do you have to do to train now for your Olympic pursuit? What do you have to run a certain amount each week, each day, or what is involved in training?
I train 4 days a week. My coach, Michael Weiler, is located in Washington State, and I have a coach here that helps me with strength training. And it is intense. It is a lot of work, but I'm determined to be the best that I can be to honor my mother in Africa and realize my dream.
That's great.
It's wonderful. It's amazing that not only do you do all that at your age, but you're doing it while you're juggling the household and kids and their schedules and everything else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a lot of juggling everything and being organized, and it's not easy. Always, there's difficult times, but
it makes us, those of us who sometimes have an excuse not to make
I
it
know.
to the gym.
It's a very like you said, it's a very inspirational
feel a lot
story.
worse about it, yeah.
Now, how did you meet to work together?
Well, we actually met because I was a reporter for the Charlotte Observer. And so one of Marilyn, she has this network of supporters, and so they emailed us at the paper and asked if we would write a story about her for our Lake Norman magazine. And so once I interviewed her, I loved her story and this idea of running for a mother she's never met, a country she's never lived in, and the fact that she wanted to be in the Olympics and then be in the Olympics for the Ivory Coast. Most people think about it, you know, just for the U.S., but she wanted to really represent a homeland in a country that doesn't get as much attention. And so I just thought it was a great story when I was at the paper, and so I interviewed her and wrote a story, and then I left the paper last year, and she just called me up about something else she was working on, or she wanted my thoughts on something she was doing. And so I said, you know, why don't I work with you and just kind of help you get your story out there and try to inspire other people, which is what you all are doing with the show. Because you know, it's amazing. As you said, we kind of sit around and talk about dreams and why we can't do it. And here we have Marilyn out there just doing it. And she's just making it up as she goes, and she's making it happen every day.
And a lot of big changes throughout your life that you just kept pursuing through. That's why I said it will be a great book one day.
Yeah, exactly.
We definitely encourage you to write a book.
Thank you.
We love, you know, the update, and thank you so much for coming back on and telling us where you are with everything. And now we get to meet your agent. And so
thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.